Welcome back to TPC. We are now doing our last video in this series, and this video is going to be using the 2023 release test. To get to the page that you see here, go down to the show notes and get the link, and then click on Sign In. Grade level EOC. Now, last time and every time we've been using this bottom one, STAAR Practice Sets, but we're going to go ahead and use the top one for this last video. And you are going to choose this test, Start 2023 Algebra 1 Release Test. And then we're going to go down and select and begin test now. So we are going to have to click through a little bit. We're going to skip questions 1, 2, and we're going to start with 3. So you can either answer this or you can just keep clicking next and yes until you get to item 3. So item 3 is fairly straightforward. This is a quadratic function and we're looking for the graph to represent this function. So we're going to start by typing the equation into the Desmos graphing calculator. Okay, so let's do that. I'll start with answer choice A, h of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is make this graph look a little bit more like the one on the test, and one way to do that is to zoom in. You can also click on this wrench and add step 1. That'll make it count by ones. You can add X and Y for your labels. You can turn off minor grid lines. All of those things will make this look more like the one on the test. And it looks to me like this first answer choice is correct. You'll notice the vertex on your calculator is at -1, -4, and the one on the test is 2. The x-intercepts are at 1 and -3, and that's true on the test as well. So the correct answer was answer choice A. All right, the next item we're going to look at is item number 6. So I'm going to click next, and I'm going to click next, and I'm going to keep clicking yes until I get to item number 6. This is giving me an equation, a table, and is asking me for a correlation coefficient and telling me how well this is correlated. Well, we have definitely not done one like this in any of the practice videos, so I wanted to show you how to do it in the Desmos Calculator. I think this is easier, honestly, than the Texas Instruments Calculator, so I just wanted to show you this in case you've not done it. Click on the plus sign to add a table, and you are going to duplicate this table. So let's see if I can squish this in a little better. Well, not that much. Let me see if I can pull this down. Well, we'll see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and type this in. This is 2011. I've got to get rid of this keyboard. I don't know what that's doing there. Okay, I was fighting with that window for quite some time, but I went ahead and got it looking pretty good here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in these numbers. Now, you can go ahead and type the entire year. Most people don't do this. I would say most people just put the 11, 12, 13, 14, and you can actually do it either way. You will get exactly the same result whether you type the entire year or you just type the last 2 digits. So it's totally up to you. And then you're going to type in your Y's. Now we're going to use the zoom fit so that we can see this graph, but theoretically we don't really need it. I'll show you in a moment. Click on zoom fit and you will see your points in your graph. And that's kind of a messy graph, so that's a clue as to your answer. Now, this is the part that's new if you've not used Desmos. If you know the equation for a line, a linear function, we often use y equals mx plus b for that. So if you can remember that, then this is easy to remember too. You're going to type y 1. And the reason you're typing 1 is because there's a Y1 in this table in your calculator. And then instead of an equal sign, you're going to use a tilde. Now, the tilde on your keyboard is actually on the top left, close to your escape key. You're going to have to hit shift and then hit that button, and that will give you a tilde. And then you'll type M for slope, and then you'll put X1. Again, X1, because the title of this, the header for the column in the table is X1, and then plus B. And what it did is it created a line to fit this data. And to be honest, that line doesn't fit that data very well. So let's talk about what this means. The correlation coefficient in the Texas Instrument Calculator also is R. So that's the number we're looking for here, and it's negative 0.09. So right here, you'll see that number. It says R equals negative 0.09. And so you're going to come down here and choose an answer that has a negative 0.09. So the question is this a weak negative correlation or is this a strong negative correlation? And it is actually very weak. Those points do not fall near that line. It's very scattered and far from the line. And a perfect fit would be a 1 or a negative 1. So negative 0.09 is very far from negative 1, so it's weak. So you should choose answer choice B. The next item is 10. So you'll go ahead and just click through here and click yes, and we're going to go to 10. So this one asks which expression is equivalent to. Now these are exponents. They don't look that great, but hopefully you recognize them as exponents. So these are called rational exponents, and we are going to just type these. I don't think we're going to need to type anything with these because they are x's, and x's, the calculator treats anything, an expression with x in it, as a function. All right. All right, I'm going to see if I can pull this down here. All right. All right, so I'm going to type open parentheses x, and then I'm going to do shift 6, and I'm going to do 3 divided by 7. And so that's my exponent. Now I want to close the parentheses, so I'm going to hit the right arrow before I close the parentheses. Hit shift 6 again and put a 2. Well, did I do it right? It's saying I did. So I guess I did. That's an exponent. See, it doesn't even look like one. All right, so let's pull this down just a hair and see if I can do the answer choices. Now, our goal is to get a graph that looks just like that one for one of these answer choices. So let's do answer choice A. We'll do X, shift 6, and then we'll do 6 divided by, the divide is right next to your question mark on your keyboard, 14. Well, that graph is clearly not the same, so we're not going to choose that one. Let's do 17. We'll put 17 on the top and 7 on the bottom. And that one is not the same. And then we'll do 6 over 7, and that one is the same. So if you turn off the blue by pressing the blue button, you'll see the red one is right under it. So the correct answer was C. All right, the next item we're going to do is item number 13. So go to next, click yes, and go to next, and click yes again. Okay, here we have some data. We are told that a quadratic function, that's the key word here, can be used to model the data. So we're going to do something similar to what I did a moment ago with the linear regression. We are going to recreate this table, and we're going to create a quadratic regression equation. And it's almost as easy as the linear, so I'll show you what that means. All right, click on the calculator button. Let's create... see if I can pull this over. I think this might work. I'm going to create a table, and I'm going to type in this column. So 20, 30, 35, 40, 50, and 60. And so the next thing I need is the miles. Well, it's sticking again. I tell you what, guys, this is the worst calculator, and I've made tests for 4 states. I've never seen one this confused, but it's a tough one. All right, we got it done. Let's go ahead and type in the Y values for this table. So 24.9, 28.3, 29.1, 30.1, 30, and 29.1. Okay, so there's my table. Let me double check, make sure everything's in there, and it is. All right, now to create our equation, what we're going to do is we're going to go down below here. Now, last time we did y tilde mx1 plus b. We're going to do y1 again because we want the y values that are in this table on the right side. And then we're going to do tilde again. So that's shift and then the button up by your escape key. And then you're going to type in A. And then you're going to type x1. It will subscript the 1. You don't have to do that. It automatically does that. Then type shift 6 and put the exponent 2. So it's like ax squared. Type the right arrow, type a plus sign, type bx1. And then type plus sign again and type c. So you may remember ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We use that for our quadratic formula. We use that for standard form for a quadratic equation. And so this is a polynomial they've given us. And so the question is, which value best estimates the miles per gallon when the speed is 65? Now we could type a function in and evaluate a function, but I'm just going to use this graph. Now let's go back up to this table, and you'll notice the little plus sign here. If I click that, it's going to move my graph to where these points are, which is up here. And that's what I want to do because I'm looking for 65 miles per hour. So just click and hold the graph and you'll see some numbers in here, and you can slide this along the curve, and you're looking for a 65 or get as close to 65 as you can. That's pretty good right there. 65.1. And then the Y value that goes with that is 27.85. Well, if you scroll down to look at your answer choices, 27.9 is one of your answer choices. So that's actually the best option because the closest I can get to this, it looks like, is about, oh, wait a minute. I can get it right on the 65 if I play with, there it is, 27.877. So that's really very close to 27.9. So the correct answer was A. The last item we're going to do is 25, and it's going to take us a while to get there, so you might want to pause the video, click next, yes, over and over until you get to item number 25. Okay, so we hopefully are all here on the same problem number 25, and the question is, which quadratic function can be represented by a graph that goes through 146, that is the vertex of the parabola, and through the point 310. So I'm going to start by graphing both of those points in my calculator. All right, let's do 146. So 1 comma 46, and we'll label that, and then that's the vertex. If you want to type vertex in that blank, you can, but I think I want the numbers. So I'm going to leave that alone. 310, I'm going to label that one too. And then I'm going to type in y equals 9 times x minus 3, and then shift 6, put your exponent of 2 plus 10. Okay, so the question is, does this contain the vertex 146? No. I think I will put vertex in here. Let me just put 1 comma 46 and vertex in this blank. And because if I don't, I might forget. All right, there's a point. This point is actually on this parabola, but it's not the vertex. So it's just some random point on the parabola. So we're not going to choose this one. Let's go ahead and look at the next answer choice. Instead of x minus 3, this is x minus 1, and this is 46. This does have the vertex 146, but it does not contain the point 310, so that's not one that we want. So the next one has a negative in front. Sorry guys, it's freaking out on me. So we're going to put a negative in front, and then we want x minus 3, and we want this to be 10. And then once again, it does contain 310, but it's not the vertex is wrong, because we need the vertex to be 146, so it's probably the last one. And let's go ahead and put this one in. And there it is. That vertex is 146, and it does contain the point 310. So the correct answer was D. So that concludes this calculator training for the STAAR Algebra 1 assessment. Hopefully you've learned lots of techniques that will help you when you take your actual STAAR exam. If you want more resources and more practice and more information about test prep, Desmos Calculator, or other technical ed tech things, you can visit my website, technomath.com. I have lots of videos and other things that will help you. Y'all have a great day.